guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I want to talk about a watch category that is dwindling in popularity, but I say hashtag make dress watches great again, because the dress watch is the most beautiful watch. It's where all the manufacturers usually showcase their high horology. It's a reminder of a more elegant time. So I want to talk about a few dress watches today that I think are more than just the stale old boring designs. Because while I do think dress watches are beautiful, they can also be extremely boring. And that's what I want to talk about today, dress watches that aren't boring. Of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing the Omega Speedmaster Apollo 14. Once again, in the rotation, haven't worn it in a long time, been enjoying it for a couple days. I actually wore it yesterday as well, because this video was supposed to be shot yesterday, but I got a little too busy. And of course, go check out DelrayWatch.com, which just got in a ton of new stock. Tudor Submariner with papers, a Girard-Perregaux chronograph world time, the WWTC. Very, very cool. An Explorer 2 black dial, as well as a bunch of other little goodies at DelrayWatch.com, a link in the description below. So yeah, guys, when we think dress watches, you think of like the original Patek Calatrava, a Vacheron Patrimony, maybe a Piaget Altiplano, a Cartier Tank. Very beautiful watches, but usually very austere looking, time only, monotone, maybe the case is in gold. And to some people, they can be truly beautiful things, but to other people, they could be extremely boring. So today, I'm going to talk about dress watches with a little bit of flair, pizzazz, pop. Not enough pop to make them not dress watches, still dress watches, but things that are slightly different. And these are in no particular order. I think the most easy one to bring up is the JaegerLeCoultre Reverso. A watch was actually invented as a sports watch for the British colony in India for polo players. But here we have a usually manual wind watch with a reversing case function. This comes with everything with 2 dials, complications, or simple time only with an engravable case back. And I think even though this is usually time only, the golden ratio, the reversing case is enough to give this a ton of personality. Not to mention anything JLC I usually really love. So if you want something off the beaten path, JLC Reverso is absolutely one you should consider. Next, and probably the plainest watch on this list, is the watch that started it all for me, the Breguet Classique. 40 millimeters, stark white enamel dial. I mean, a dial so clean that it's shocking in real life. And Breguet numerals are all hand painted on the dial, so no two are exactly the same. A sub-second dial that is placed strangely at about 4:30 p.m. on the dial, so not quite in the center, with beautiful blued hands. This also has the coin-edged case. What can we say? This is the epitome of a simple dress watch, but with somebody who has the right eye can find a ton of detail. And this is actually the watch that made me love watches. Now, full disclosure, I do have this for sale at DelrayWatch.com. I feel like I should let you guys know. However, I've talked about this watch at least 24 times on this channel. Absolutely gorgeous. Third, we have a watch many people don't even know exists. And if you did wear it to a watch get-together, most watch enthusiasts would give it 2 thumbs up just for cool factor. And that is the Rolex Shalini Prince. The rectangular Rolex, now discontinued. Here we have a very Art Deco design, rectangular shape with a rectangular manual wind movement, and probably the best movement finishing Rolex has ever put on a watch. What can we say? Very, very underappreciated. Actually, these are only precious metals, which generally means a high price tag, but since they're not easy to sell, you can probably pick one up in the low 8,000 range, which is a hell of a deal to get the Rolex nobody knows exists. It might be a future collectible. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I think it will be, even though the values have not gone up yet. But it's just weird enough and cool enough to absolutely be a future collectible in my mind. Then we have a watch that I fell in love with when I first saw and I absolutely adore it still today. Vacheron Constantin Historique 1931. The driver's watch. Here we have a cushion-cased watch with a beautiful cream-colored dial, Breguet numerals that are all kind of tilted. And this is modeled after a driver's watch. So when you put your hand on the steering wheel and you look, everything should align. Very, very quirky, but also a very cool manual wind movement, a design that is almost impossible to see today and made in a modern case size. I believe it's either 40 or 42, I'm not entirely sure, but I can definitely wear it and it looks great on me. Yes, this one is going to be in the mid-20s to buy, so it's not cheap, but it is definitely one of the most beautiful watches ever made. And I don't know, the 1931, so unique, I don't think you can ever get bored of it. Now we have something else. You know, most of the watches here have kind of like a vintage look to them. I'm going to talk about the Piaget Altiplano 900p, the most contemporary watch on this list. You have the Piaget Altiplano, which is traditionally a very slim, ultra-thin dress watch. And here, the 900p, you have a watch which at the time, I believe 4 or 5 years ago, broke the world record for thinness in a mechanical watch. And that is the 900p caliber, which is totally skeletonized and actually uses the case back as the main plate of the movement. So the movement is built in to the case back. 38 millimeters. This watch is thinner than most watch straps. Manual wind, and you can see the open work dial. People don't give Piaget enough credit, and I think the 900p is the perfect contemporary dress watch. If you're not into the old vintage look, take a look at the 900p. And now we have, of course, one of my favorites. I've spoken about it many times, the H. Moser Endeavor, particularly with the Fume dial. H. Moser, an independent brand with great history, a brand with many technical achievements. They actually are fully in-house and make many hairsprings for other companies as well. If you guys didn't know, hairsprings are one of the hardest things to produce. Well, H. Moser makes them. This is a time-only, no-nonsense dress watch, 40 millimeters, and I love the Fume dial. Fume means smoked in French, and that is a kind of a gradient color dial. I love everything from their marketing. I really think their CEO is a very intelligent man. I love the design, and you're getting a very well-made watch. However, the brand hasn't really caught on 100%, so you can still get it pretty heavily discounted, which is a good thing for guys that want to buy this watch, like me down the road at some point, even though prices have started climbing a bit. But anyway, guys, this video is just there to show you that the dress watch isn't supposed to always be boring, and there's no need for a dress watch. And yes, in these more casual times like today, it's harder to kind of explain having one in your collection, but there are a ton of dress watches with personality. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. It really does help. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any content. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.